seconds and counting.
Hey, what's good, guys? It's here. Essam here, back in another video. And for today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Houston Texans. I'm going to be talking about one player in particular that I think can be a dynamic offensive weapon for the Houston Texans. And when I say that, a lot of people are probably going to assume and know who I'm talking about, and it's kind of obvious at this point. We drafted him in the 3rd round. He has pretty good speed, great route running. He's great at making people miss. And this guy is wide receiver Dell. And even calling him a wide receiver, I feel like is pretty disrespectful because he's more than just a wide receiver. He can be a punt returner. He can do a couple of kick returns. He can line up in the backfield at times and play receiver. So just limiting him to the name wide receiver, I feel like is pretty disrespectful. And Dell, he's a master with the football in his hands. He can do a multitude of things with the football in his hands. He can make people miss. He has that top-ending speed. Yes, his 40 time was a little bit, I guess, not to what people would expect, but his game time speed is much more faster than what his 40 said. And one thing that I really, really like about Dell is how he was used in the Houston Cougars offense. They did use him out in the backfield at times, and they would motion him out into the slot or motion him out to the outside, or just wherever they would motion him out to. It would really benefit that offense. And I found a stat on Twitter by at NFL_Doug Farr. I believe he's a writer for the USA Today or something like that. And he put out a stat that C.J. Stroud, with motion last season, he completed 98 of 137 pass attempts for 1,233 yards, 17 touchdowns, and only 1 interception, and had a passer rating of 135.7. So basically, when there was motion in the play, C.J. Stroud was amazing. He was able to pick apart a defense. And what is Dell really good at? Motion. And who wanted Dell on the Texans? A lot. C.J. Stroud. And I think it's going to help C.J. Stroud out a lot. I think it's going to help Dell out a lot. And then having Bobby Slowick, who comes from San Francisco, and that was pretty much the point of that tweet that I just read. It says, new Texans OC Bobby Slowick comes from a Kyle Shanahan system that uses motion to maximize things for quarterbacks. And having a guy that's really good in motion, like Dell, as I just said, is going to help C.J. Stroud out a lot. And this isn't really a C.J. Stroud video, it's a Dell video, but it's really going to benefit both of those guys. It's going to help both of them out. C.J. Stroud already pretty much is in love with Dell. They're one of the reasons that Dell is in Houston right now. I'm sure Nick Caserio isn't going to just draft a guy because C.J. Stroud says to. He's going to want him too, but that's one of the main reasons he was here. But Dell, he's going to do a multitude of things for this offense. As I said, he's going to be able to line up in the backfield. And this isn't really a comparison in terms of players, but a comparison in terms of how they were used in their offenses. And I'm going to compare the style of play to Tyreek Hill. When Tyreek Hill was first drafted to the Chiefs, they would use him everywhere pretty much. They would use him at kick returner. They would use him at punt returner. They would use him in the backfield at times. And that's one of my favorite things. I think using a wide receiver who's a shiftier guy, smaller build, kind of like a scat back, like a pass-catching running back, I think those are one of my favorite type of players. Kind of like a Darren Sproles, kind of like I'm trying to think of more wide receivers that are smaller like that. Maybe a Tavon Austin if he was actually worked out in the NFL. It's kind of hard to think of guys like that right now. But those are my type of favorite players. Like a Deebo Samuel type. Yes, he's a bigger receiver, but he was able to be in the backfield. And, of course, he was able to carry the football a lot. But I like a guy that's going to be able to line up in the backfield and run routes from the backfield. I feel like getting that mismatch against the linebacker, against the safety, against a slower cornerback, like maybe the nickel cornerback or whatever is going to be on the field at that time. I feel like getting that mismatch is going to do wonders for an offense, especially if it's Dell, who's extremely versatile and how he can be used. He has that ability to just make anybody miss. He can make a middle linebacker miss. He can make a safety miss. He can make a defensive lineman miss. He's just very, very shifty. And having a guy like that who can come out of the backfield or be in motion, whatever the case may be, just try to get him open, try to get him that mismatched against the linebacker or whatever it may be. Just having him like that, I feel like would help this offense out a lot. It would help Nico Collins, Robert Woods and John Mechie get open more. It would help Dalton Schultz get open more. It'll create more running lanes for Damian Pierce, Devin Singletary. It would do a lot of things for this offense. But Tank Dell, I think he's going to be the Texans' X factor on offense this season. I'm not sure if he's going to contribute right away on offense. I would assume he would. It's just going to depend on how they see John Mechie and Tank Dell fit for this offense. Maybe they have both of them on the field at the same time. But I really do think he can be an X factor for this Texans team, for this Texans offense. He can be C.J. Stroud's favorite option. I'm not going to say number one option because I don't think he has that number one receiver type of potential like the Jamar Chases, the number one receivers in the NFL. We all know who they are. I don't think he has that type of potential, but he could be C.J. Stroud's favorite go-to guy in a sense. But yeah, that's just a little bit about Tank Dell. I mean, he can be used in a multitude of ways in Houston. He's probably my favorite player that's not named C.J. Stroud right now on the Texans team. I'm very excited for him. I think the ways you can use him are endless. I think you can use him pretty much any way the Chiefs use Tyreek Hill, any way the 49ers use Deebo Samuel. You can use him in so many different ways, and it's going to help your offense. But yeah, let me know what y'all guys think about the video. Let me know what y'all guys think about Tank Dell. And it's been Clutch City Entertainment, and hope you guys have a good day. Peace.